This lesson is all about adding integers. So let's go over the rules again. If the integers have the same signs, all we have to do is add the numbers and keep the same sign. So here we have positive 3 and positive 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7, and because it was positive, we just leave it as it is. Over here, we have negative 8 plus negative 12. So again, we add the numbers and just keep the same sign. So 8 plus 12 is 20, and it stays negative. Let's go over the rules for different signs. If they have different signs, meaning we have a negative and a positive, we're going to subtract the numbers and keep the larger sign. So we'll go ahead and take 10, because it's larger, subtract 7, and we get 3. And if we notice, the negative 10 is larger than the positive 7s. So in this case, then it is negative 3. Looking over at this problem, we have a negative 20 and a positive 30. So we have different signs. We go ahead and subtract, and we get 10. 30 minus 20 is 10. And in this case, there were more positives, so it is a positive 10. So now, what are we going to do if we're adding more than two integers? Noticing in this first problem, we have negative 3 plus a positive 14 added to a negative 7. Or over here we have 2 plus negative 5 plus negative 7 plus 12. Well, there are two methods actually that you can use. The first one, you add the first two numbers together, following our rules of adding integers. So because they have different signs, I have a negative and a positive, I do my subtraction, and I get 11. And in this case, it's a positive 11 because 14 positive is the larger. Now I rewrite my problem. I'm going to add to that a negative 7. So I go ahead, since they have different signs, I'm going to subtract, and I get 4. And I check out my signs that I had a positive 11 and negative 7. So I definitely have more positives. So my final answer is 4. We can repeat the same process with our next problem. So I'm going to start off by taking the first two numbers and use my rules of adding integers. So 2 plus negative 5, they're opposites, so I'm going to subtract, and I get 3. And in this case, I have more negatives, so it's negative 3. And now I'm going to rewrite my problem. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my first two integers again. They have the same sign, so this time I'm going to just add them together and keep the sign. So 3 plus 7 is 10, and it's negative. So I rewrite the rest of the problem. And I'm going to add these two integers together. And I have negative 10 and positive 12, so since they're different signs, I'm going to subtract. And there were more positives, so the answer is positive 2. Well, that takes a lot of work, so I have a second method that you can choose to use. Either one is fine. Method number 2 says go ahead and group all of the positive numbers together. Then I'm going to add all the negative numbers together, and then we'll add the positive sum to the negative sum. So looking over here, I have negative 3 and negative 7, so I just add those together and I get negative 10. And then I have only one positive number, so I'm going to write it here. And because they are different signs, I'm going to subtract, and the 14 is larger, so the answer is positive 4. So the answer is the same as when we did it on the previous page with method number 1. So let's try the next one. I have positive 2 and positive 12, so together they are 14. Now I'm going to grab my negative 5 and my negative 7, and I'm going to add those, and 5 plus 7 is 12, and they're negative. I'm going to put parentheses on there so it doesn't look like it's attached to my addition sign. So because they have different signs, I'm going to subtract. I get 2, and the 14 was larger. It had more positives, so this is a positive 2. And now you know how to add more than 2 integers together.